Hello, this is the second exercise. It's all about focusing on something that you might not focus on, and then closing your eyes and thinking about what you've seen and then committing that to paper, just through what you can remember. So we're connecting memory with hand movement, and I would recommend using something that you can't rub out, so you're not worrying about the marks you're making on the paper, and there's no pressure, and you might be surprised by the shapes you make anyway. So your hand might slip off the page, that doesn't matter, just have fun with it. I'm using Sharpies, it's just about looking at something and then just being free with your hand movements and seeing what you pick up, what you remember from that thing you've just seen. Anyway, enjoy.
You will need some paper and some pens. Something to lean on if you're outside, or a table if you're inside. But if you wanted to use this as part of your journey making time on the way to or from work or wherever you have to be, then I think this is really nice to find maybe a park bench or somewhere you can sit for a couple of minutes and just have a look at something in a different way.
I'm actually going to use 3 different colours, and I'm going to do the same exercise 3 times on top of itself. So you'll see what I mean, and we'll see what happens. I'm going to be looking at a bike, which is just across the road from me. I'm just going to look at it for a little while, and then I'm going to close my eyes. So I can see the wheels, and I can see it's on a lean, and I can see it's got a bag on the back. It's facing to my left. And now I'm going to put my pen sort of at the furthest corner on the left, and then I'm just going to close my eyes and try and draw it from memory.
It might feel a bit strange at first sitting with your eyes closed outside, but because it's for such a short space of time, maybe you could do it with somebody else, or perhaps do it sitting inside if you don't feel comfortable being outside. It's just quite nice to have a different way of looking practice again, and you could even just do it with a tree or a flower in the garden. Or if you are inside, perhaps just with something in your kitchen or a coffee cup, something really simple, and see how you go with that. Have a good experiment and have fun. I really like this workshop because it just works on your memory, and it kind of points out, for me at least, the things that we think we're looking at, and actually when you close your eyes and try and remember something, for me there's very little I realise I've actually looked at, so it's kind of an exercise in that. But I think it works in more than one way, because a bit like the texture rubbing, I think if you use some bright bold pens, it kind of allows you to experiment and not be afraid with the mark making, and that means that it doesn't really matter about the outcome, but you might get some nice results which you can use for different things as well. What makes this simple exercise quite fun is if you do it 3 or 4 times on the same piece of paper, so you'll end up with kind of an interesting layered effect. And if you use different colours, you'll find that they will overlap each other, and that can look really fun. This workshop is about the process and taking our minds off any sense of end result, which I think is really important to remember when being creative. There's a lot of focus on end product, and to bring it back and to remember to enjoy the process of looking, remembering, mark making, using your pen, using your hands, and just enjoying that process. So that's what this exercise is looking at, just to enjoy the moment that you're in, taking that time for yourself, however long it is, even if it's just a couple of minutes, just looking at something in a different way and not worrying too hard about the end result.